Do you think that you'll always do live recordings from now on, or do you think you'll go back into the studio and sort of start again?
Well, our new album coming out in I guess about 3 months here, it's coming out in the States this week, is a studio recording, and it was fun to do. I really enjoyed it. So there's no telling, because I didn't really enjoy playing for the live album, because it was just like playing. I mean, I enjoyed myself, but it didn't last very long.
There's no sense of occasion like we're making a record, because you're playing and they're recording at the same time,
Yeah.
I suppose.
Well, it's just two different kinds of records, and I got to say that for making records, studio recording is more fun, because you can sit home and scheme for a while on what you're going to do, and then you get into the studio and you get to run amok, and you can do much more than you can do in the context of a live performance.
All of my friends come to see me last night. I was laying in my bed and dying. Anybody know from sin? Angel, peace to die, and a friend or two I love at hand. Fever roll up to 105. Roll on up, gonna roll back down. One more day, I find myself alive. Tomorrow, maybe go beneath the ground. See here how everything lead up to this day, and it's just like any other day that's ever been. Sun going up and then the sun here going down. Shine through my window, and my friends, they come around. Come around. Come around. The people I know, but the people don't care that a man could be as poor as me. Take a look at poor Peter. Now let's go run and see.
just starting to get a handle on songwriting.
Yeah.
Basically, the song's a song. The way we came up with songs up to that point, we'd play a little. Hunter wasn't plugged in that much. We were trying every conceivable way. Somebody take a section of a song. This is I got it, and it goes like that. And that's how the songs got written. Then Jerry and Hunter hooked up and came up with a slug of songs. And for the most part, that was Workingman's Day.
Well, the first days are the hardest days, don't you worry anymore. 'Cause when life looks like easy street, there is danger at your door. Think this through with me. Let me know your mind. Whoa, what I want to know is, are you kind? It's a buck dancer's choice, my friends. Better take my advice. You know all the rules by now, and the fire from the ice. Will you come with me? Won't you come with me? Whoa, what I want to know. Will you come with me? Goddamn, will I declare, have you seen the like? Their walls are built of cannonballs. Their motto is don't tread on me. Come here, Uncle John's band, playing to the tide. Come with me or go alone. He's come to take his children home. Same story the crow told me, it's the only one you know. Like the morning sun you come, and like the wind you go. Ain't no time to hate, barely time to wait. Whoa, what I want to know, where does the time go? In a silver mine, and I call it Beggar's Tomb. I got me a violin, and I beg you call the tune. Anybody's choice, I can hear your voice. Whoa, what I want to know, how does the song go? Come here, Uncle John's band, by the riverside. Got some things to talk about here beside the rising tide. Come here, Uncle John's band, playing to the tide. Come on along or go alone. He's come to take his children home. Got some things to talk about here beside the rising tide. Come here, Uncle John's band, playing to the tide. come on along and go alone. He's come to take his children home.
Hey everybody, welcome to another classic album deep dive. Today I'm going to be talking about the Grateful Dead and their fourth studio album, Workingman's Dead. This was released on June 14th, 1970, almost a month before I was born. So it holds a special place in my heart. Not only that, it just happens to be musically my favorite Grateful Dead album. Now, I was inspired to do this deep dive after I was watching a recent episode by my good friend in the vinyl community, Rod, the Happy Hippie. Rod is a huge Grateful Dead fan. I think that might even be his favorite band, as a matter of fact. And so I got inspired because he showed the Workingman's Dead album. And I'm like, hey, that's my favorite Grateful Dead album. Why don't I do a deep dive on it? And Rod is a great guy. So I really want to do this for Rod. And I really want to do it because I love this album. So like I say, it was released in 1970. And it's very much a departure from the first three Grateful Dead studio albums, which were very psychedelic, very electric. And this time around, it shows a very pronounced country Bakersfield influence, if you will. Bakersfield was kind of an offshoot of country music in the 1950s that incorporated a bit of rock and roll. And it was very much one of the first country rock styles that did emerge, where you had that rock and roll and that country hybrid. But during the recording of this album, it was not the best period for the Grateful Dead. They had been busted in New Orleans, and there was a real possibility that some of the Grateful Dead members were going to face jail time. Fortunately, they did not. But also their manager, Lenny Hart, Mickey Hart's dad, there were some shady goings on with their finances, and he was refusing to show anybody any of his accounting or any of the books. He was keeping it very clandestine, much to the suspicions of the rest of the band. Now, the Grateful Dead were not the only band who were stripping things down. Beginning in 1968, you had the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, Bob Dylan, were all kind of moving away from all the studio trickery, the psychedelic sounds, the experimentation in the studio, and they were kind of going back to their roots. And that's what the Grateful Dead basically did here. Robert Hunter, who was a co-songwriter with Jerry Garcia, he had spent some time with the band on the road, and they were able to develop some of the material that would find its way onto this album and the subsequent album, American Beauty, which was recorded immediately after this album. So they're kind of like sister albums. They were both released in 1970. They both kind of had the same sound. But the band had been spending some time with Stephen Stills and David Crosby, who had basically encouraged the band to use more harmonies in their music, much like they did. And so a lot of the Crosby, Stills, and Nash sound was finding its way into the Grateful Dead music. Jerry Garcia, when he was on tour in Colorado, had purchased a steel guitar, and so he was keen to play some of that on the next studio recording by the Grateful Dead. So this was going to be a Grateful Dead album like they had never recorded before. And for my money, they pulled it off beautifully. There's only 8 songs on this album. Dire Wolf sounds very similar in arrangement to Teach Your Children by Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. It's got that countrified flavor to it. This song was apparently written by Robert Hunter after he was reading The Hound of the Baskervilles, and Jerry Garcia composed the music in the same day. Not exactly sure what it's all about. It seems to be about some card game that possibly went sideways. Jerry repeats the refrain, "Please don't murder me," so there's obviously some bad stuff that's about to go down, but a very bright and cheery country arrangement nonetheless.
In the timber up an area, the wolves are running round. The winter was so hard and cold, froze 10 feet beneath the ground. Don't murder me, I beg of you, don't murder me. Please don't murder me. I sat down to my supper, was a bottle of red whiskey. I said my prayers and went to bed, that's the last they saw of me. Don't murder me, I beg of you, don't murder me. Please don't murder me. When I awoke, the dire wolf, 600 pounds of sin, was grinning at my window. All I said was, come on in. Don't murder me, I beg of you, don't murder me. Please don't murder me. The wolf came in, I got my cards, we sat down for a game. I cut my deck to the queen of spades, but the cards were all the same. Don't murder me, I beg of you, don't murder me. Please don't murder me. Don't murder me. In the back wash up an area, the black and bloody mine. The dire wolf collects his due while the boys sing round the fire. Don't murder me, I beg of you, don't murder me. Please don't murder me. Don't murder me, I beg of you, don't murder me. Beg of you, don't murder me. Please don't murder me. Please don't murder me.
The next song, New Speedway Boogie, is about the Altamont concert that the Rolling Stones had held in December of 1969 that I believe resulted in the death of 4 people. 1 person at least was murdered. The Grateful Dead were supposed to play, but once they got wind of all the bad mojo that was going down on the stage, they declined. The Rolling Stones had brought along the Hells Angels, not necessarily as security, but more to form a barrier between the audience and the stage. Of course, that all backfired in horrific fashion, but the Dead were closely associated with the Hells Angels, and so they took some of the heat for everything that went down as well.
After Altamont, Keith Richards said that the Angels should not be blamed at all, because how can, however many Angels there were there, control 350, 450,000 people?
No.
In Hyde Park, there are at least 250,000 people there who were controlled.
Well, so were they at Woodstock, but there was no control at Woodstock. With Woodstock and Altamont, the same situations were prevailing in terms of how it was for the people there. It was free, essentially, and it was also completely without control of any sort. You know, there were no police. I mean, there's no way you can realistically control that size, really. You can't expect to. The way I saw it, both of those situations being sort of like two sides of the same coin. It's like 2 ways that kind of expression can go. You know, of a huge number of people and no rules. And one of the ways, obviously, you can go is into a terrible bummer like Altamont, and one of the other ways is into an immensely joyful scene like Woodstock.
Please got to run today. I spent a little time on the mountain, spent a little time on the hill. Heard some say better run away, others say better stand still. Now I don't know, but I've been told it's hard to run with the weight of gold. On the other hand, I heard it said it's just as hard with the weight of lead. Who can deny, it's not just a change in style. One step done and another begun, and I wonder how many miles. I spent a little time on the mountain, spent a little time on the hill. Things went down we don't understand, but I think in time we will. Now I don't know, but I was told in the heat of the sun a man died of cold. Keep on coming on, stand and wait with the sun so dark and the hour so late. You can't overlook the lackadack of any other habit you had. It's got no signs or dividing lines and very few rules to guide. I spent a little time on the mountain, I spent a little time on the hill. I saw things getting out of hand, I guess they always will. Now I don't know, but I've been told if the horse don't pull, you got to carry the load. I don't know whose back's that strong, maybe find out before too long.
The next track, Cumberland Blues, which opens side 2, has some fantastic country guitar picking. I love this song. I love the harmonies. I love the refrain, gotta get down. Cumberland is the Cumberland mine, and presumably this is somebody who has to leave their loved one behind to go down and toil away in the mine.
I can't stay much longer, Melinda. The sun is getting high. I can't help you with your trouble if you won't help with mine. I gotta get down, I gotta get down, gotta get down to the mine. You keep me up just one more night, I can't sleep here no more. Little Ben clock says 7:45. You kept me up till 4. I gotta get down, I gotta get down, or I can't work there no more.
Black Peter is a slow, mournful country blues song, which I absolutely love. Has a very folky, laid-back vibe to it, but one of my favorite songs in the entire Grateful Dead discography. Easy Wind is an electric blues song sung by Ron Pigpen McKiernan, the type of song he could really sink his teeth into. And listening to the lyrics of this song is a little uneasy, knowing that he eventually drank himself to death, but this is a great showcase for Ron and his talents as a blues singer and player. The album closes out with one of the most iconic Grateful Dead tracks ever, Casey Jones, about a cook. Not a good mixture. I'm sure there's a deeper meaning to these lyrics, but I'm taking them at face value. The guitar picking is impeccable. It's a fun song to listen to and a great way to wind down one of the greatest Grateful Dead studio albums ever.
Driving that train, high on cocaine. Casey Jones, you better watch your speed. Trouble ahead, trouble behind. And know that notion just crossed my mind. This old engine makes it on time. Leave Central Station about 8:45. It's Rebel Junction at 17:2 at 9:45. You know it's traveling again. Driving that train, I'm cocaine. Casey Jones, you better watch your speed. Trouble ahead, trouble behind. And know that notion just crossed my mind. Trouble ahead, the lady in red. Take my advice, you'd be better off dead. Switchman sleeping train, 102 is on the wrong track and headed for you. Driving that train, I'm cocaine. Casey Jones, you better watch your speed. Trouble ahead, trouble behind. And know that notion just crossed my mind.
So that's my deep dive on Workingman's Dead. Hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of the album. What is your favorite Grateful Dead studio album? Thanks for watching and take care.